welcome back to Total Spotfest. This is JJ Brownlee. That right there, that's Jamie Faulkner. We are coming back at you with another jam-packed edition of Total Spotfest with a lot of wrestling coming up here. It is WrestleMania week, for whatever, or better yet, it's WrestleCon week. Is that better? You know, we go that way.
It feels more accurate.
Yeah. It feels like a better representation of kind of what we go about here on this show. But thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming back. Those of you who've been here before. If it's your first time here, hi. How you doing? You can leave a comment down below if you're watching us on YouTube. Subscribe if you want to hear more. Hit the like button. It does help us out quite a bit. I hate doing the shtick, but you got to do it. You know, it is what you do. So, hey, you know, share it, tell your friends. Come check us out. We're here every Thursday. So, Jamie, how you doing, man?
I'm okay. Lots of wrestling that's happened that we got to talk about. Lots of wrestling's gonna happen that we definitely need to talk about.
I mean, it is the wrestling happy season, if that even is a way to kind of look at that. So, holy season. That's kind of what I meant to say. Words are tough, y'all. So,
yes.
I mean, lots of stuff going on here. So we'll get right into it. I do want to start with our favorite local promotion. No offense to any of the other ones around the Kansas City area, but Journey Pro, as we said last week, officially put tickets on sale for all good things flow into the city. It's a long title. It is. I know.
But it's off of BioShock, so it's wow.
It's fantastic. So all good things flow into the city. And if you have been following them on the Twitter or anywhere else, you've been seeing lots of pictures. The training school still going on, FYI, if you want to get into training. They're doing, beginning in May, they're doing a brand new wrestler training session. All details are on their website, journeyprokc.com. But they've started announcing matches. Now, to the best of my knowledge, they have not sold out. I know that they were getting close to selling out on front row seats. So they went back to what they used to do in the past and what a lot of other promotions do, where the front row, whether that is actually just the front row itself or the front, like 2 rows, I don't know. But the front row is limited, and there's just a small number of them, limited number. Excuse me. But then they have the general admission. So they also are doing GA tickets for kids now, which is a great thing. It's a little discounted there. So if you want to take your little one to a Journey Pro show, bring them in, $5 less. I just double checked here, and yeah, right now front row seats are all gone. There are GA tickets available, and unlike before with this new arena, there's room. So there doesn't seem to be a limit right now on the GA tickets. That's fantastic. So I got my ticket. You got your tickets, right?
Oh, yeah. I got them, and then I posted it online. I don't know if you saw that. I tweeted about it, and in the description, like special instructions, and I said, I want a goddamn lion tamer. I put in my instructions and I tweeted it, to which Jeremy White replied, no.
Didn't even dig into it, which was even better. Not going to lie, I love that. And they've been doing some stuff here. There's been some matches announced. So far we have 4 official matches announced as of the recording of this show. So as of roughly 10 o'clock Central Time, Wednesday, March 30th, we have 4 announced matches. There's going to be a lot because, like I said, at the end of everything there will be a Journey Pro champion. So the first matches they announced was actually, it surprised me this was the first one they announced. It was a good old staple, Gary fucking J, going up against absolutely, you know, the Cult of Gary is going to be going up against Shazza McKenzie, making her Journey Pro debut.
Yes, and she's got a lot of buzz around her. Like, she's been at Triple L, she's been all over, she's been on Dark, but her Twitter game's pretty solid too. She's got a lot of buzz around her, and I've never seen her live. We talked about this. Neither of us have seen her, And I am really looking forward to seeing what she can do, especially against Gary, because Gary just had a knockdown, drag out fight with freaking Masha. So I'm wondering what this is gonna bring.
I don't know. I don't know how you top that Masha fight. I don't think you do. Everything is its own thing. But I'm interested to see. I know Shannon's got quite a following too. When it was announced, the internet was quite a Twitter about it. Now I seen her on like One Dark once before, if I remember correctly. But it was a dark match, so it was like, you know. It is what it is. So I'm interested to see how that goes. So that's match number 1 announced. Match number 2, part of the tournament, first round in the tournament. Good old Christian Rose. He got in the tournament with his win last time. He's going up against another debuter for us here at Journey Pro. None other than Mr. Outlandish himself, Zicky Dice. What?
Zicky Dice.
What?
Dude, that's a big name coming to Kansas City.
It's so cool. It's so good. So I'm super happy with that. So, and then you have 2 other matches announced. Now, previously, it was supposed to be JDX and Dak Draper squaring off inside the tournament. And there's about a foot of snow that prevented Dak from flying in last time, so things got a little mixed up, and they wanted it to be fair. But they also know that this match, let's be honest, you got to pay this match off later on if it happens. So, be fair, but you also got to be fair to other competitors as well. So they're kind of giving them both a reset here. And in a first-round tournament is our boy, JDX. The D stands for definitely going to come get some barbecue with us. Talking to you, Justin. Going up against Luke Langley. So
I mean, he might find his inner peace, but he's gonna find out he's gonna tap out to a goddamn Chicago crab, also known as a lion tamer. You know what?
Go ahead.
You know what I'm gonna do? This is what I'm gonna do.
Okay. All right.
I think I'm gonna do this for the show. You know you can buy those crab hats, right? Like the hats with the crab on them.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna wear crab hats.
We
that match.
we got nominated. How am I nominated in this?
We're a package deal.
But this is your crusade. This always has been. And somehow I've already got lumped in with the lion tamer thing, and so I'm just rolling. Okay, fine. I'll wear it for his match. For his match.
Yes, that's exactly. We're wearing it for the match only. And here's the thing, and I will make this promise to you, sir. If I do get my lion tamer for a win, he taps him out. Submission, tap out Chicago crab. I will switch to start yelling Spanish fly just for you.
Well, we actually do see Spanish flies, so I don't know if that maybe necessarily is needed. But
we don't see them very often.
Not Journey Pro, we haven't.
I know, that's what I'm saying. See it live.
Well, first of all, we might actually get a chance to see it live, being that they got a little bit more headroom. So
yeah, they definitely do.
I don't need the move as much as you need your move. That's why I have not resisted the being brought on board. So to each his own. It's all good. But crab hats ensued. Cool. I'm down.
Crab hats.
For that match. I'm not doing it all night. And on the other side of things there, you got to get Dak his due as well. And, I don't know. This match is low-key gonna fuck hard because...
key about it, dude.
I mean, it's not even low-key. This match is gonna fuck hard. It's Dak Draper, Mile High Magnum, going up against... If you've watched any Dark or Elevation at all, you have definitely seen this person. If you watch any Ring of Honor, you've definitely seen this person. He is fantastic up-and-comer. Khan. Oh! Oh, my God. Making his Journey Pro debut as well. So we got 3 debuts in the first 4 matches. And look who they are. Shazza McKenzie, Zicky Dice, Khan. My God, this is going to be it. And this is just the first 4 matches. We got 2 whole nights of this shit. So look out, right?
Dude.
Oh.
So far with these 4 matches, there's some big names already thrown out here. Like Zicky Dice, Khan, Dak Draper, like outside of the Kansas City bubble, if you will. Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Plus, we don't have some of our Star Wars who we know are in the tournament currently. So we know Jeremy Wyatt's moved on, albeit with a nefarious post-match shenanigans. But we also have Moonshine Mantell, who killed Kenny last time. He has moved on, so you fucking bastard. So we got some of our local staples still kind of up in the air. What they're because they're involved in the tournament as well. So plus there's other stuff that's going to be announced. Like I said, Heidi Howitzer, which by the way, if you have not watched, I'll put a little bubble over this way. Where is it? Right over there. Go check out. We released another episode of our Pop Fest series, our non-wrestling interview thing, where we did the Not So Newlywed Game with Heidi and her actual husband, Austin Reddick, and it was a lot of fun. So go check that out.
It was a lot of fun. I got a lot of heat for my take on Lord of the Rings.
And for those saying, if you haven't watched it, there it is up there. But you can let us know down below. Lord of the Rings, yay or nay? Because Jamie is very much a nay, and me and Heidi were very much a yay. And Austin was loving everything about us going into town on it. Specifically,
63 minutes. 63 minutes of shots of people walking. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Understand.
63 minutes. And they could have rode a goddamn eagle from the very beginning right up there. Boop. Like a little drive-by. Boop. And they're gone. That's it.
Regardless, it's worth it just to see Heidi and Jamie go back and forth on Lord of the Rings. But we talk about video games, talk about a bunch of stuff. She's in the tournament as well. She got a ticket to ride, so we haven't heard her announcement yet. Lots of stuff still upcoming, so follow for us. Once again, if you haven't bought tickets, GA tickets available. $20 per night, $35 for the both. I think it's actually $34 with a discount. Whatever.
But $34. $34.
It said 35, but it's 34. So save 30. Save an extra $1. 28th and 29th of April. So it's going to be great. All right,
and
so
we will be there.
We will be there with bells on. We might be doing the door again. Who knows? We love helping out as much as we can. We love supporting Journey Pro. They become so far, survived the pandemic, and are still kind of growing, got their own wrestling academy. I'm really excited to see the space too, because I've seen all the pictures online. Can't wait to see it because I think it's going to be a great place to generate that buzz, right? It's got that hype feel inside. At least we'll see. So
yeah, shit's gonna go bonkers in there, guaranteed.
Indeed. So that's Journey Pro. Lots of other stuff coming up here. Before we move forward with what's going on and what has recently happened, let's talk about some numbers. I assume that you have numbers in front of you to talk about from the past week, correct?
I do. I really do. You're welcome.
Still don't know how this is a thing we're doing, but whatever.
Oh, whatever. Just love it. All right. Great week for the world of wrestling. Everybody was up. Everybody. No one was down at all. Some of them made illustrious returns to markers even that they need to get to.
Good.
One of them was not Monday Night Raw, the former flagship of WWE. It did not get to the 2 million. Sorry, but the one that happened, this one got to 1.98. But anyway, this past Monday. But this one went from 1.7 to 1.77.
Ooh.
70,000.
Up is up, I guess.
Their go home did 1.98. We'll talk about next Wednesday, obviously. NXT was up, not much, 4,000 people, from 624 to 628, but still nice.
They've been consistent, I want to say. I think they've stopped their slide. They found their rhythm, and even though it's not maybe as much our cup of tea anymore, I still don't. Of the three, I still think it's the best of them. Even though it's kind of campy now, it's a little different. But I can respect that, because they're doing some interesting things. So they've kind of found their rhythm, which is good for them. That's cool.
Yeah. AEW Dynamite went from 993 to 1.046 million. Back over the million mark, ladies and gentlemen.
Hell yeah.
It belongs. 100% where it belongs. Impact also going back where it belongs. One from 68 to a cool 100,000 people.
I mean, percentage-wise, that is the biggest jump. But and I like to take this time always to kind of just talk about the Impact from this past week, because this past week's Impact was very eventful. So they're gearing up for two things. They're part of, and I'm gonna talk about everything going on WrestleCon here momentarily, but they got matches going on with that multiverse of matches. Plus they have the whole in Impact provincial wrestling, whatever it's called, the old school Mid-South, work promotion that they do. But they're also gearing up for their next of the big four, which is in April 23rd, is Rebellion. So they're gearing up a lot for that. A lot of stuff kind of to start off the show going on. Moose, the week before, he had to sign the contract or else be stripped of the title, right? So
yeah,
he signed it in time, but he couldn't make it to the office or whatever it was, something or another. So what does he do to make sure he gets in? He gets to Scott D'Amore and he doesn't get stripped of his title. Go to Josh Alexander's house and give it to his wife while he's not there, of course, right?
Of course.
Of course, and then, saying hi to his son. Hi, little man. One day I can show you what a real man looks like. It's just kind of like, just totally like, it's an old trope, but it's still a good one, right?
It is. It really is.
To be fair as well, he is selling the piss out of this. So over this past weekend, Alexander was at a independent show. I do not remember the promotion. I'm sorry. But he was at an independent show, and afterwards, his wife and his son came up, and they were in the ring. And, I guess she had wrestled there previously back, because she used to be a wrestler, for those who are not aware, Jade Chung. And that's not right. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't remember her name. Like Jade Chung. I'm like, wait, that's an actress, isn't it?
Jamie Chung.
There we go.
That's the actress.
Jade Chung is her. I'm sorry. I don't mean. Okay. All right. So she used to be a wrestler, right? And she used to wrestle this promotion, whatever it was. I don't remember. But so she came up and she was saying some words and all this stuff. And from behind her, a hooded man comes out from the audience and gives her a spear in the middle of the ring. And then it's Moose and he walks away. So full sell on this. Love it, because this match for the title is going to it's going to be great. It's going to be at least a half an hour. It's going to be great. I love this. They also had the final qualifier for Rebellion for the Triple Threat X Division match. So they did triple threats to qualify for a triple threat. This one was Speedball Mike Beatty, Laredo Kid, and Willie Mack. Every time I see Willie Mack, I'm still amazed that man can do what he does.
Yeah.
He flips it almost as much as like Laredo Kid, and he's like at least twice his size. It's stupid. JJ's kind of match. I loved every second of this. Speedball Mike Bailey won. He's moving on to Rebellion.
Not surprised.
Also announced, I don't know if we talked about this, but did you know that Jonah has a match at Rebellion booked?
No.
It's against a very interesting opponent. It's going to be Jonah versus Tomohiro Ishii.
What?
I piqued his interest there. Ishii, who's yeah.
So they have two matches.
He's fighting Eddie Edwards at Multiverse of Matches, and then at Rebellion in April, Jonah versus Tomohiro Ishii.
Oh my God.
Yes, please. By the way, side note, Swinger doesn't have his casino anymore. He now has the Swinger's Dungeon, which is an obvious sex club kind of shtick. And Zicky Dice was involved in a little comedy bit. I loved every second of it. It was great. But in order for him to kind of pay to stay in the dungeon, he's got to team up with Swinger next week, and they're going to do a chump challenge where they're going to find a couple chumps to tag team wrestle and all this stuff. But it's Johnny Swinger's not everybody's cup of tea because it's so campy. Like,
he drives me nuts. I'm not a big fan.
I know. It's one of those. It's so bad I love it things though. Just like you love bad movies, like those bad kind of B movie things at times.
Oh, dude, bad movies are the best.
He is the bad movie of wrestling. He's so bad, I love it. It's great. Personally, that's on me. The main event of the night was, and there's some other stuff too that happened. Steve Backlund's still doing the fuck everybody bit, right? He's using people's moves against them now, which is great. He used a gore against to beat Rhino last week.
Yeah.
Doing that whole thing. I love it. The main event was Mickie James versus Tasha Steelz in a knockout title Philly street fight, like a rematch for the title, but it's a Philly street fight. And it was very good. Lots of things going on, chairs, tables, Sasha Evans came out, pole shenanigans, whole 9 yards, all the stuff going on. But the moral of the story is what happened at the end. Because at the end, they're doing this, they're beating her up, all these things. Ref can't do shit because it's a street fight, right? So here comes Chelsea Green with a chair in her hand. She slides into the ring and she takes that chair and sets it up so that she sits down right at the face of Mickie James and just goes to Tasha, goes, "Go on." Tasha and Savannah tend to beat the living piss out of Mickie in front of Chelsea, who looks very uninterested in Mickie James at all. And then they pin her and retain the title. And then Mickey's giving her this like Julius Caesar, like, why look all this? And they just get to a slap fight, which leads to, Tasha, Chelsea going outside the ring and walking around the ring. And Chelsea's all, I don't know what's going on. Because she should have looked behind her because that's where Matt Cardona is. And he gives her the radio silence. And then, Chelsea hits her with the cast, rips the cast off. The broken arm was of kayfabe, is fake, which I'm not going to lie. She got me on that. I mean, they had an actual cast put on her arm for a story. That's fantastic. And we have full heel Cardona family in Impact Wrestling.
Perfect.
So good.
Perfect.
It's so good. They have a match coming up on WrestleCon Weekend I'll talk about momentarily. So that was Impact. Very good. Highly enjoyed it. So
nice.
Let's get back to the other numbers.
Okay, SmackDown was up. It went from 2.147 to 2.180.
Okay.
Rampage was up, thank God, but not a whole lot because, again, it was going against
the tournament. Is it back to its time slot, but still going up against basketball?
Yeah, it went from 398 to 425. So
okay,
not the best, but it's still up. Everybody was up.
Yeah, and I look back on Rampage, and it was okay. I mean, you had Swerve Strickland, had a good match against Ricky Starks, right? There was Lance Archer, Dustin Rhodes. You had 5 and 10, Dark Order going up against Red Dragon. The big thing there is that after the match, they're beating up on them, and then Jurassic Park came out, and they were distracting them, and Adam Cole came out and stole their belts, just like he stole the AEW title. Now that Rosemary Rinkowski was kind of a squash, it was fine. It was fine. It was not their best episode, and I think that they knew that. Hey, we're gonna get smashed here, so let's not pull all the guns out. They're doing that this Friday, but yeah.
So yeah, those were the numbers.
So okay, good. Also, all right, like you said, it is WrestleMania, WrestleCon season. That build up to all this wrestling. So it doesn't surprise me that people's interests are starting to get peaked here. Perfect. Hopefully we can sustain that post-Mania on through into the spring. Now there's a lot going on this weekend. Before I talk about that, there's other stuff that happened across the pond. And you have some information about New Japan, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, well, when people think across the pond, they think England. But
well, I mean,
we're going the other way.
Excuse me for my ocean,
Yeah. We are going to the Far East, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't think of words. There we go. Yes. Let's go to Japan. What happened with New Japan?
New Japan. I'll just make this short and sweet. We have a New Japan Cup winner, 2022 winner, and it was not Okada.
Ooh, really?
No.
We thought it was a foregone conclusion.
He was in the semis. He did not make the finals.
Okay, well, who did make the finals?
Your final matchup was Tetsuya Naito.
Okay.
and Zack Sabre Jr.
Go Zach. Hell yeah.
He's been getting a big push over
He's
there
been
in
getting a push
Japan.
for sure. And he deserves it. I love Zack Sabre.
Speaking of that push, you won.
Fuck
Zack
yeah.
Sabre Jr. is your new Japan Cup 2022 winner.
Cool. So now the Japan Cup, that gives them a title shot whenever they want it, right?
Yeah, well, no. He
That's
did
something
say,
else.
yeah, he did vow that he's gonna keep growing until he becomes the best professional wrestler. He
Okay.
also teased possibly going for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. This is the second time as champion, first time winning the tournament back in 2018 when he beat Hiroshi Tanahashi. So he's won it twice. Interesting.
He has. I mean, it's for what it's worth. I mean, I'd put him on the top line too. I could also see him in the IWGP US title picture as well.
Yeah.
I just think because I think that the storylines they're building around Okada right now, yes, you can put him. You can build one out for Sabre, and maybe that's longer term. Maybe that's something they're going to shoot for like the fall or something. But
Wrestle Kingdom. They
Wrestle-
like long plays. They love long plays.
I mean, that's a long ass play. That's 11 months away. So, I mean, Wrestle Kingdom would be, I would think. Now, let's see how they build up. Like, if they I think a good part of booking would be you take the momentum he has from this, what he's talking about, and put him in the U.S. title picture. Give him the belt, maybe, because you know how much they changed that fucking belt. Like they changed that belt a lot. So give him the U.S. title belt, let him hold that for a little bit, and then move him in and kind of just kind of keeping that focus to push towards, so that you can eventually come Wrestle Kingdom. Cool.
I'm in.
So that's great. New Japan is also one of the plethora of promotions that is putting on a wrestling event in Dallas, Texas this coming weekend. Because there's 2 weekends now. This used to be the weekend, but there's 2 weekends a year where all the independent promotions put up all their big shows, right? They do it for WrestleMania. They also started doing it most recently for All Out Week. So WrestleMania week is the biggest one. We know this. So WrestleCon's going on, which maybe next year after we'll go to WrestleCon. I say next year. It's going to be in LA though, and
yeah, I'm not gonna go to LA.
I don't mind LA as a city. It's just LA is expensive. Okay.
Really expensive.
Like really expensive, especially when we're trying to get around like a convention going on. It gets more expensive no matter where we go. So
yeah, exactly.
Anyway, we'll see about that. But I'd love to go. WrestleCon itself it's basically a meet and greet of every wrestling star outside of WWE you ever wanted to see, more or less. It's like literally
pretty much, yeah.
Everybody's been announced for it. So, but along with that, I'm just going to run through. There's more than this, okay? There's more than this, but I'm going to give you the highlights, the promotions we talk about the most here that we like, what they have going on. Starting today, actually. So starting today, and depending on when you're watching this, it might have already happened because it started at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, is Glory Pro Wrestling's Cemetery Gates. It's part of the GCW collective. A lot of these are part of the GCW collective. It's not just them. They've taken in these other promotions from around the country, independent promotions, and are putting them on kind of all in conjunction, which is a stupid, fantastic idea. I don't know if that was Lauderdale's idea or what, but fucking brilliant, right? So, Glory Pro St. Louis is going on there, and they've got a couple interesting matches there. They have Max the Impaler versus Jake something.
I'm in.
I'm in for that. Tootie Lynn versus Janai Kai, which I think is a really well booked match, honestly. Mike Outlaw versus Brian Keith, and then Matt Fitchett and Davey Vega are in a tag team match. They're not referred to as the besties though. So I don't know if it's a situation where they have a different moniker they're going by, or maybe it's just for Glory Pro, but they're called Grindhouse.
Interesting.
I know. It's the first time I'd seen when I was looking at the cards. I was like, wait a minute, that's the Besties, right? No, that's Fitchett Vega. That's so maybe interesting indeed. I'd like to get more information on that. If anybody knows more information, let us know. Give us a tweet or give us a comment.
Are they
or shout
changing
or
their
something.
gimmick? Because that would just be disheartening.
I know, because they've been doing a lot of single stuff independently lately, which is fine, cool, right? You gotta grow, but
yeah.
Even when Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin get back together, they're still the Motor City Machine Guns, right? When you get Davey Richard and Eddie Edwards together, they're still the American Wolves or the Wolves, so it's like,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're changing their gimmick, but they're going up against Rocky Romero and Davey Richards, so that's pretty cool. Other things as well. Kitty Alfonso's involved. He's going up in a was it a 4-way tag match? Him and the Quad Father Camaro Jackson. So lots of good things going on for that. So that's happening today, March 31st, 11 a.m. Then you've got at 3 p.m., you've got Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 8, another part of the GCW collective. You've also got at 5 p.m., Triple A, Lucha Libre invades WrestleCon. I'm all about that Triple A flippy spinny shit. So you get,
yes, you are.
And my God, some of these matches. So first of all, you have Laredo Kid versus Flamita versus Bandito. Psycho Clown versus Black Taurus. You got Mecha Wolf making their appearance. Drago's going to be there. Rhea El Scorpion. You've got Sam Adonis, Gringo Loco, and Puma King going up against Pagano, Drago Kid, and Jack Cartwheel. Jack is all over this fucking weekend, by the way. I've seen him in a lot of fucking bookings. Good for Jack. Good for Jack. So all sorts of really cool stuff going on for that. Then you've got, I'm still going here. You've also got... later on that night, you have Joey Janela's Spring Break #1, Part 1. He's doing 2 parts, so he's doing 2 set shows. Part 1 is the one that really interests me. You've got Mickey James versus Allie Ketch, Joey Janela versus X-Pac, AR Fox versus Blake Christian. The GCW Ultraviolet title is on the line. Alex Colon versus John Wayne Murdoch. You got the GCW Tag Team Triple Threat match, which is the Briscoes, the former champions, versus your current champions, Matt Tremont and Nick Gage, who are going by the term Hate Club. H8 Club, of course. Interestingly, going up against the third participant, the Second Gear Crew, Mance Warner and Matthew Justice, who were buds of Nick. So that's interesting. And your main event is John Moxley versus AJ Gray for the GCW World Title.
That will be a good match.
That's a great card. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So that's happening at 8 p.m. Then after a couple other things going on there, at 11:59 p.m. Okay, that's how we roll with this. Is going to be Nick Gage is putting on Planet Death, and it's just like 6 or 7 death matches of just glory. Wonderfulness. So get a little death match wrestling involved, you better believe it. Then the following day, April 1st, start things bright and early, 11 a.m. with LA Fights, which is GCW's West Coast offshoot, versus Jersey Championship Wrestling. So it's like a kind of like a promotion versus promotion thing. And you got a lot of people. Yeah, you got a lot of people involved with this. Jack Cartwheel's involved with this as well. Alec Price, Juicy Finau, Dark Sheik, Billy Starks, Cole Raddick, Kevin Blackwood, Nick Wayne. My God, I saw what he did fucking last week and whatever the GCW show that they did in L.A. Right? Oh my God, this kid is the future. I am so sold on Nick Wayne. Have you seen anything of Nick Wayne?
No, I haven't.
So Nick Wayne is that 16-year-old kid that AC.
Oh, yes. Sorry, yes.
Okay, all right. That AEW's already signed. It's like a futures deal sort of thing.
Yeah.
He put on oh my God, the match he put on at the Roxy in LA, which I would have loved to have gone to see a wrestling show at the Roxy. Talk about LA. That would be awesome. But anyway, so he's going to be involved in that one. So good for Nick Wayne for getting some fucking, WrestleMania week bookings. Then at 3 p.m., you have GCW For the Culture 3, right? This is kind of like a black wrestler-centric one, which I love to see here because, you see so often you have that token wrestler on the card here and there. So this is great because you get to see some great matchups. Listen to this. Tasha Steelz versus Big Swole. AJ Gray versus Darius Lockhart. JTG versus Rich Swann. I said that correctly.
Oh, wow.
Two-Court Scorpio versus Brian Keith. You've got the Hitmakers, who you might have previously known them as Hit Row, or Hit Bow, as I called them, going up against Shane Taylor Promotions. So, yeah, it keeps rolling. So that's at 3 p.m. Then at 5 p.m., you might want to make your way over to see the New Japan Pro Wrestling Lone Star Shootout. And
Lone Star.
That's great. That is yes. So you've got all sorts of stuff here. You got Rocky Romero, Finn Juice going to be there, Daniel Garcia, Clark Connors. You got Chris Dickinson versus Tomohiro Ishii. Minoru Suzuki's going to be there. I think it's Minoru Suzuki versus Killer Cross.
Minoru Suzuki is facing Killer Cross in New Japan.
This is New Japan. This is New Japan promotion.
New Japan.
I could have swore that. No, this is New Japan Pro Wrestling presents Lone Star Shootout. Hold on a second here. I am looking that up because I think that the Lone Star Shootout. Where's the card? God, they're okay. Can we have a talk real fast about New Japan's website?
It's a Japanese website, sir.
It's not great. It's not great. No. I'm just gonna say, it's not very great. But it is what it is. So I'm trying to find that here. I could have swore Minoru Suzuki and Killer Cross was booked for this. You've got Finn Juice Garcia Knight versus Dorado Connors Fredericks Umera. You got that one, which I'm saving. You got Minoru Suzuki.
You are correct. So okay. It's Tomohiro Ishii versus Chris Dickinson, Mike Bailey versus Jay White, Minoru Suzuki versus Killer Cross, Rocky Romero versus Ren Narita, 8-man tag match of Clark Connors, Carl Fredericks, Mascara Dorada, and Uemura versus Finn Juice and Daniel Garcia and Kevin Knight, and then Jonah versus Blake Christensen. They got
Stray Dog Meat versus Bullet Club of Chris Bay and the big tall guy. And then you've got the main event of that show is the US of J Open Challenge match. Jay White going against Speedball Mike Bailey. Maybe not the main event, but for me that's my main event. I'm all about that.
Same.
Yeah, I'm finding out that because I'm going through the list of them on Fight TV because it's just easier, right? Everything that's going on, and their cards aren't complete that they have listed out here. So, gripe to Fight TV. So 3 o'clock GCW For the Culture, 5 o'clock on Friday New Japan Pro Wrestling Lone Star Shootout. 6 o'clock is the pre-show, followed by which I'm going to buy, and I'm definitely going to be watching at 7. Ring of Honor Supercard. So, Tony Khan teasing big announcement things at the end of Supercard, right? We shall see. We shall see. There's a little bit more than that, but just a few of the matches are going to be there. Jay Lethal versus Lee Moriarty. Alex Zane versus Swerve Strickland. The Ring of Honor Pure Championship, Josh Woods versus Wheeler Yuta, who's going to get talked about shortly in a few minutes. you have an interim ROH Women's World Championship match. Now, what does that mean? Isn't Deonna Purrazzo the ROH World Champion? Women's World Champion? Yes. She also is booked at the same time as this show because there is a Impact show going on at the exact same time. So, Tony Khan has said, we're going to have an interim world championship match, and the winner of that will have a quote-unquote, unification match or whatever. So basically, it's a number one contender match, if you want to think about it that way. Willow Nightingale, Mercedes Martinez.
Oh.
I become more and more a fan of Willow Nightingale every time I see her. She gets featured a lot on Effie's Monday Not Raw, indie wrestling Twitch show thing. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see that. Ring of Honor World Tag Title match: the Briscoes versus FTR. Okay, and then you've got a title unification match. It's the theme of the weekend because they're doing that in WWE, but I'm more excited to see John Gresham and Bandito unify the Ring of Honor title into, I'm sure Tony Khan will have a nice new belt for them once that's done. Let's be honest. So, Super Card of Honor, let's go. And I really want to see what Tony Khan's got in store. What's he got up his sleeve for this? Also, about the same time, you got GCW's Gringo Loco presents The World on Lucha. That's too long of a name. I'm sorry, Gringo. That's too long of a name. Flippy Spain Shit Central, though, with a surprise of, you got all the stuff there. You got Drago Kid, Shane Mercer, Golden Dragon. You're going to have Pagano there. Psychosis versus Tony Deppen. Hello, let's go. John Caballero versus Jack Cartwheel. Team Laredo Kid versus Team Gringo Loco. Let's hope that they did what they did at in New York, can recreate that magic. But you've got Psycho Clown going up against a name that I was surprised to see on the card here, Dr. Wagner Jr. Somewhat of a AAA legend there, so very interesting. Then also at about the same time, 9 o'clock, you actually a little bit later than that, 9 o'clock that night, you have Impact Wrestling's multiverse of matches. So they've made some tweaks to this card since we last talked about this. All right, you still got Jay White versus Chris Sabin. Still got Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie Edwards. Eddie is actually representing Pro Wrestling Noah. He has disavowed Impact as his association. So it's New Japan versus Noah, technically. It's kind of cool, right? You've got the Briscoes versus the Good Brothers. You've got Moose and PCO versus Josh Alexander and Jonah in the tag match. They added this past week Alex Shelley versus Speedball Mike Bailey. They have the 4-way women's knockout tag title match. Savannah Evans and Tasha Steele versus Decay versus Giselle Shaw and Lady Frost versus The Influence, Madison Rain and Tennille Dashwood. Deonna Purrazzo is putting up either one of her titles, AAA or ROH, in her champ challenge. And then the Ultimate X match, they tweaked just a smidge more. So Vincent, Chris Bay, Rich Swann, Trey Miguel, Jordan Grace, let's fucking go, and Blake Christian.
Man.
Oh my God. It just keeps getting better. Every time they tweak it, they make it better. I'm like, damn, how can you do that? So that's at 9 o'clock. Then at 11 o'clock, you got Joey Janela's Spring Break Part 2. Tony Deppen versus Biff Boostic. You've got Matt Cardona with Chelsea Green versus Chris Dickinson with Missy Hyatt. PCO versus Mike Bailey. Minoru Suzuki versus Effie. Hop on board. I forgot to mention the other thing that was announced for Multiverse of Matches. That is the Cardonas versus the Aldises. Aldises? Aldi? Aldises.
Aldisai?
It's Matt Cardona and Chelsea Green versus Mickey James and Nick God damn it, Nick Aldis.
Aldis.
Married couple versus married couple. Let's fucking go. So that's back at Multiverse of Matches. GCW. GCW presents Joey Janela's Spring Break 6 Part 2 is at midnight. Then at 11 a.m. the next day, you have Effie's Big Gay Brunch for Alley Catch versus Dango. You got Dark Sheet, Peril, Max the Impaler, Ia Surreal. A lot of people announced for that. Then following up with that, I'm trying to get through this. I swear to God, people, give me just a minute here. So you got Effie's Big Gay Brunch. Then you have USA versus the World, and I don't know who's actually putting this on, but it's which promotion is putting this on. But you got some really cool stuff there. You got you got Rich Swann in there. Warrior Wrestling Championship match is going to be happening. It's a 4-way. Sam Adonis is putting it up against 3 other competitors. Gringo Loco and Flip Gordon. Gringo Loco and Flip Gordon are in a 5-way match. It's going to fuck, I'm sure. You got Davey Richards versus Mike Bailey. Rachel Ellering's making an appearance. Big Damo. All sorts of crazy stuff. Then you've got also at 3 o'clock, you've got Mission Pros Bangers Only. So AEW Women's World Champion Thunder Rosa, her promotion is going on, and they've got all straight bangers. Shazza McKenzie versus Janai Ray. You got the Hex and Laney Luck versus the Renegade Twins and Jasmine Allure. Masha Slamovich versus Lindsay Snow. Thunder Rosa going up against Trisha Dora. Holodad's putting her title up on the line. You got Kylan King going up with Genocide against Bougie Reality, which is Maddie Rinkowski's tag team. So finally, the last one is Black Label Pro, last one part of the collective, happening Saturday night at roughly midnight there. Jake Something versus PCO. You've got Davey Richards going to be there. You have Blake Christian versus Black Taurus. Charlie Haas versus Effie. Anthony Green versus Alex Zane. Warhorse versus Big Damo. Shazza McKenzie, there's that name again, showing up against Billy Starks. If you want wrestling, you got it this weekend. So I'm out of breath. That's a lot.
That was a lot.
That's a lot. So pick and choose. Fight TV. Go to Fight TV is the best place to go. You can a la carte this son of a bitch. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna order. I'm going to order Supercard of Honor for sure. And I'm probably going to order Multiverse of Matches too, because I'm a sucker for that. I really want to get all the GCW stuff, but I mean that's like 16 hours of wrestling.
There's a lot of wrestling.
There's a lot of wrestling going on. So,
and our boy Nick Chin's gonna be at most of it.
He's already down there. He posted he got there. So we'll have to see if anybody's got any surprises. I'd love to see some surprises pop in, you know. But Wrestling Twitter is going to be full this weekend. That I know.
Yes.
All right. So one thing we didn't talk about is AEW, because they don't have a show at Dallas, but they had a show last night in South Carolina. What happened at Dynamite, Jamie?
It was a good show.
It was here's just my hot take. It was a progressively better show. It started off okay, and they kept getting better and better and better and better for me. And I'm like, okay.
You know, that first match, though, was pretty solid.
It was good. Let's do the card first, then we'll talk about what our highlights are.
All right, so we have CM Punk versus Max Caster, and I will have to say this was not one of Max Caster's best raps, but it was okay. I will have to shun him a little bit, but not much because I still love him. Obviously, CM Punk won that match, and then talked about how he wants to become champ, whatever. Then you had Jay Lethal versus Jon Moxley. This match was amazing.
This match was so good. And I'm going to circle back and ask you a question about this match and comparison in a little bit, but I loved this match.
Yeah, winner was Jon Moxley. FTR in their NWO-inspired gear, which was amazing, versus the Gun Club, Ass Boys, against the Ass Boys. FTR got the W, and I have thoughts about them. I want to come back to but
I figured you would. I figured you would have thouts about that, and there's another thing I think you're gonna have thoughts about too. But cool, all right.
Yeah, they had a Jericho appreciation thing, whatever. So I'm already over it. I'm already over it.
I I mean, they're doing the same promo before, but this time behind the curtain is Eddie Kingston and, Proud and Powerful, Santana Ortiz. And they get in a fight, they come out to the ring. Numbers, they have the numbers game, they beat the shit out of them. Okay, cool. We get it. You guys are going to fight for the next 2 months, whatever.
Yep. They did a Jade Cargill thing, which was fine. Then after that, we had
Danielson.
Oh my God. Danielson, yes.
Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta.
What is going on? Did I freeze?
No, you didn't freeze. You are perfectly fine, man. Is your computer doing things?
Yeah, my computer's like, no.
See, that's why I do like handwritten notes instead of, put them online, because it's easier to just, I don't.
Yeah, so Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Yuta, another amazing match for Wheeler Yuta.
I'm going to put the second part of the pin in this, and we're going to come back to it momentarily.
Okay.
Danielson won.
Bryan Danielson won. Yeah, the Blackpool Combat Club was the winner. And by the way, you can get a hoodie of the Blackpool Combat Club on ProWrestlingTees.com.
They have a t-shirt too. The t-shirt's got a bloody fist on it, but the hoodie looks great.
It's just simple. It's just...
That's why I love it. It's so simple. It's great.
Then they had this weird ass championship celebration with Undisputed Era and Red Dragon.
Undisputed Elite.
Sorry,
now.
Undisputed Elite. Yeah, the Undisputed Elite, which I called out a while ago. That's what they're going to be named.
He's going with it, so I'm good with that.
So they can still keep their,
It's UE. It's still UE. I mean, it gets him there. He even said in the thing, Adam Cole did, that AEW needs a new era. Kyle definitely forgot what he was going to talk about, and they were like, shit. It was fine. It was a way for them, and they had like masking tape on the belts with Sharpie their names over it. I saw on Twitter that earlier for a local TV station, Adam Cole did an interview with the belt with his masking tape name on it on his shoulder.
Oh my God, he's so good.
Full sell, love it, great. But of course, it's just a way to get the belts back. They're gonna continue these feuds on for a while. So maybe not a while. Maybe Double or Nothing if it takes that long. I don't know. Maybe Battle of the Belts. I think for Cole and Hangman, it'd probably be Double or Nothing. The tag belts, though, I feel like they might take off a Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus sooner. We'll see. That's the only real title that they bounce around, honestly. TNT a little bit. Well, TNT
a little bit. Yeah.
But okay.
So after this, we had the Hart Foundation, the Owen Hart Foundation tournament women's qualifying match. I'm gonna put a pin in this. I don't want to talk about.
We're gonna finish
yet.
You want to finish? Do you want to finish with this?
I do.
Okay, all right.
I really
so
do.
there was the second half of the show was a lot of promo heavy. It was weird, in that, but they were all good. You had Thunder Rosa's actual promo. So it was the interview with Tony Schiavone post championship take 2. So that was good. And then you had an FTR promo where they challenged the Young Bucks, which was like, oh, okay, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
And Nyla Rose had a promo. Also, a lot of promos in the second half of the show. The main event, though, I don't know. I don't know if it's hard for me, to be honest with you. It's going to be hard for me to pick a favorite match from this past week. That's surprising considering the card I thought going into the show was very light. It was light on details for one. And I was just kind of like, nothing really gets me. But I loved every second of that main event. Yes, it was Darby Allin getting the shit kicked out of him a lot. But it wasn't in the same fashion as what he did when he was TNT champion back in the Jacksonville days. I don't think Andrade Alidolo versus him, and they just went at each other hard and fast, and I loved it. I don't know what you thought about it.
It was a good match.
Okay, so you don't have quite the love I had for it, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I do want to spend a little bit of time talking about FTR. I want to start there.
All right, start with FTR. Let's go.
So they are having issues with MJF, as we all know, but it is the most subtlest of subtle face turns out there. Like, it's just the little things. Like, they were getting out healed by the Gun Club. If you watched that match, you saw it. Like some of the heel shit that they did, what like they usually do, wasn't happening. Like, they were just being the top guys. It's just really weird. I don't remember a time where they were faces but still were the same guys. And they are still the same guys and they're like faces. It's really weird. Like, once they eventually separate from MJF, which is gonna happen very soon.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, it's just gonna be one of those things that I like the idea of them as faces, you know, honestly, because it's different for them. I love them as heels. They're probably one of my favorite heel tag teams, you know, definitely of this generation. You know, it's difficult for me, man. Like, I'm kind of torn.
Have they never been faces? I'm trying to think back, and I don't remember. Their main roster stick was terrible in WWE. I mean, Uzi Hot, hello. But they were straight heel pretty much the whole time in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
When they came into AEW, they were that tweener bit at the very beginning, right? So maybe that's the closest that you could kind of say they were faces at the time, I guess. I don't know. I don't feel it's as subtle though as what you mentioned. I think it's to me it feels more obvious.
Well, the thing is they're not pushing it down your throat like a WWE product would do. Like, oh man, you know, like they had to have this big moment to make them a face. Like, they're just slowly, subtly, like, becoming. You see all the signs, but you know they're not just coming out and saying it either. And they can easily revert back, which is the nice piece too.
I think, and it all started with them firing Tully Blanchard because, in a way, firing Tully Blanchard frees them up to be face in a way.
Yep.
And then they're using Wardlow as a wedge to get between MJF and him. Wardlow actually made his appearance in the middle of their match. He came in through the concourse, putting people through a table full of popcorn, and then beating the shit out of security guards down the ramp. Wardlow is. I can't wait to see Wardlow at a pay-per-view, see what the pop is in Vegas when they're there for Double or Nothing, because Wardlow he's the future. He's so over. I love me some Wardlow. But he came down the ramp and eventually got swallowed up by enough of them. MJF, of course, was on commentary the whole time. So they're using him as his crutch, and they're trying to like set up earlier that they're telling MJF that we're your guys, but Wardlow's also our guy too. We're not getting involved with this. So, but it feels a little bit obvious, but not, you're right, not in the kind of like, you know, a 4-year-old could see it writing on the wall sort of thing. So FTR's face is cool.
Yeah, it's definitely different. I'm really, really into it.
What was your opinion that is a better match? Jay Lethal versus Jon Moxley or Bryan Danielson versus Wheeler Yuta? That's the question I wanted to ask you, because the Blackpool Combat Club had a bookend of matches that I thought was outstanding.
You know,
it's a tough one, right?
I have to say, for me, it's gonna be Lethal Moxley, just because I've never knew I wanted to see that match.
Okay.
And I want to see it again. Like, or even better, I want to see Jay Lethal become a part of the Blackpool Combat Club.
Well, there's openings there. I actually, for a very different reason, although it's somewhat similar, I'm going to say Yuta versus Danielson. Yuta is definitely, I mean, that writing is on the wall for sure. That match, Danielson's match, had Regal on commentary. He's talking up Yuta a lot in the match. So, you know, he had a ton of it. And just Yuta's getting over finally. And I think it's because they're letting him shine. Like we talked a long time about, we know what Jay Lethal is. Jay Lethal is the longest reigning Ring of Honor champion of all time, right? You know, everybody knows what John Moxley is. Everybody knows what Danielson is. Yuta's the one that we've seen do stuff in New Japan Strong, and then he comes over here and we're like, what the fuck? He's jobbing it up, you know? Pay your dues, though, I guess, because he is getting over now. The crowd was really behind him, like against Bryan fucking Danielson, too.
Of all people, too. Yeah, right?
Right. So, and it came down to and he had some fantastic moves, great spots, technical, but still flippy. I loved every second of it because it was this great mix between the two of them there. It came down to the end. And he did his running knee strike on Yuta, missed the pin, and then the pinfall didn't come up, and then he pulled him up like he was going to do something, and Wheeler just stopped him and spit in his face, which led to stomp on your face, then do a gotch pile driver, then do the bell lock. He's passed out, but I love this. He's definitely going to be in it, and with Lethal, he opened it up the Ring of Honor way, kind of with the, start with the handshake sort of bit. And of course, Moxie's like, fuck that shit, slaps it out of the way, right? And they had a fantastic match, which included Excalibur actually using the terminology as it should be of the Lethal combination.
Yes, he did say it. I did note that as well.
I was so happy to hear that. And then, but it ended, Moxley extended his hand towards Gresham. I think Gresham is a different sort of element. Lethal. Wrong. Yes. I'm getting my Ring of Honor guys mixed up here. Sorry. Not the current champion, the longest reigning champion. Lethal. He extended his hand towards Lethal. Lethal begrudgingly then shook it. I think that he would fit well into this thing, even though the MO is kind of like Moxley, and because he's not a young guy. Lethal is.
No.
So the MO is sort of Regal, Moxley, and Danielson taking up these young, promising talents.
But the thing Regal also said, he's like, people come to me to become a better professional wrestler, and Lethal cut a promo after his last loss. It's like something's got to change. Something's got to change. I got to be better.
It's a good point. I mean, that's a very astute point there. Honestly, good kudos to you. I didn't even pick that up, man. That's fan-fucking-tastic. I'm all for it. I'd be in it. Like I said, I love Lethal as a competitor in general, and I really like this whole Blackpool Combat Club thing. I might buy me the hoodie. I mean, it's a good-looking hoodie. It really is.
It's a simple black hoodie.
So we'll see. And you guys let us know which one of these two matches you like better, because they were a bookend of different shapes. Really is what they were. All right, let's talk about the women.
Let's bring it home with the
before you get into the actual match, a little bit of women's note. So Jade Cargill's promo is actually her announcing who she was going to face. Earlier in the show, there was a video package for somebody who's been with AEW but not really been pushed yet. She's just been on Dark and stuff. And I don't know if you've seen any of her matches, but Marina Shafir looks nothing like she did in WWE. She looks vicious. And she's got this... she's going against for her heritage, which her heritage is Moldovian. Thank you. I can't pronounce things tonight, folks. Her heritage is Moldovian, but she's coming out very kind of stoic, not saying a lot. Very much a killer MMA sort of style. She definitely has been trained since she's left WWE. You can tell she's been training on her striking. Her striking's been stellar. It's very good. Lots of submissions as well. Totally up Jamie's alley, basically, as a wrestler, pretty much. So she's looking great, and she's the one. Originally, it was going to be Leva Bates, because Sterling's trying to get a curveball set up. So our good friend Leva Bates she comes in there, and of course, Jay tells her to fuck off, and that's poor sad Leva, exit stage left. But Sterling says, well, the other choice he had was Marina Shafir. So for Jade's 30th match, Marina Shafir versus Jade Cargill.
Why do I feel like Marina Shafir is gonna win?
I part of me definitely feels like that. I'm just like, I
It's
mean,
been hyped so hard that she's gonna win. She's gonna have this after party, has this after party dress and all
right.
these things.
Marina has the chops, I think, in ring wise, to justify beating her as well. Not that others don't. I mean, there's others that could. Nyla, sure, right? Definitely. Ruby Soho, hey, Ruby, definitely. Yes, sure, right? But, I mean, they had a video package for her earlier in the night. I don't know. If I had to bet money on it, I would say Jade probably still wins. But part of me really thinks that they're setting up Marina to take that belt, which is kind of cool, honestly.
If they did that, that'd be a really cool little curveball. I'd be in on that. Hardcore, actually.
So let's talk about the match itself.
All right. So the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament Women's Qualifying match.
Too damn long. Too goddamn long. I get it, right? The Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. Cool. Awesome. Right? You just say tournament qualifier number 1. Too damn long. Stop it.
Yes. All right, so the qualifying match was the Bunny versus a mystery opponent. And who is that mystery opponent? None other.
Who did you think did you think it was who it was?
Yes, 100%.
I thought so too. So there's basically 4 names that are being floated around ahead of time here. But who it was, that's who I thought it was going to be too. Part of me thought it might be another person. It was not Mia Yim. I thought it could have been Mia Yim.
I didn't think it was going to be Mia. I thought it was either going to be Athena or this person.
Yeah, part of me I don't know. For some reason, I just didn't see Athena at this time. I thought Mia Yim potentially, just because Keith Lee's there. She's been talking about making her in-ring return a couple weeks ago after she's now moved to Texas. And so I'm like, but I thought this person was who it would be. And it was
Toni Storm. And she looked fantastic.
Which those of you who signed up for OnlyFans already know this.
Yes. Well, I was more thinking of her in-ring prowess. Yeah, I was thinking more of her in-ring prowess.
No, but she actually looked. She did look good, though. I mean, she's always been beautiful, but she looked toned, a lot more toned than when she left WWE. Very similar to Marina Shafir. I don't know what it is in catering at WWE. Maybe I don't know, but she looked good and she wrestled. She wrestled the way I remember her wrestling. Stardom. Early WWE NXT UK style, right?
Yeah. She looked good, aggressive. I was very, very excited to see her, but 2, the best part was to see her come out and look so good and work a match against the Bunny, who it seems like she's always a sacrificial lamb, if you will, for all the new talent.
Which is weird. I mean, she's not a rookie. I mean, she knows her way around a ring. The Bunny does, so maybe that's why.
She's not the greatest wrestler. I would say
not the greatest, but she's also not a pushover either. So
no,
she's a good worker, which is maybe why she does get that kind of inaugural,
she was like
role.
Oh, who was the one that they always threw at everybody at WWE? Oh my goodness. Always had the tail feather thingy.
Alicia Fox?
Alicia Fox, thank you. Was always a sacrificial lamb. She's their Alicia Fox.
Exactly. But she got some good stuff off.
She did. And obviously, I'm waxing poetically to say that Toni Storm wins.
She definitely did. She pulled out most of her good moves: the hip attack, the headbutt, which was actually a little bit to her chest. It was a little misaimed, but hey,
yeah,
you're a little rusty. It's okay. It happens.
She did hit Storm Zero, which made me very happy.
Okay, I want to talk about the Storm Zero because I don't know, it didn't look like a Storm Zero at first. I had to go back and rewind it and rewatch it real quick. Okay, technically was a Storm Zero, but it kind of was just sit down, sort of real fast. It was
a quick hitter version, and
it looked more like a kind of a package pile driver sort of thing almost, the way that it went through, which is fine. But that's not a Storm Zero technically. So
yeah, I liked it better than because I had the same thing. I'm like, what he called it Storm Zero. I'm like, that's not Storm Zero.
Right.
You know, but then like I look at it, I'm like, it is a Storm Zero technically, but I liked it better because it was a quick hitter. I like quick hitter finishers so much, like the stunner, rock bottom, things, super kicks, like that kind of shit. Just if you were gonna have a finisher that's not a lion tamer, I want it to be a quick hitter. Code breaker.
I'm with you. No, I agree. I enjoy the faster ones. It's funny you said super kick because Shawn Michaels' super kick takes about like 3 minutes to set up. I'm just saying. Just throwing that out there.
Not the old days, and he still can hit it out of nowhere.
Not originally, but when he moved it to be the Sweet Chin Music with the tune up the band, the whole night, it was too much. But that's a good case in point there for your argument. But yeah, I'm with you there most definitely. So you're not a big fan of Sky Too High doing the worm?
No. Like the ones who take forever to set up, like Andrade El Idolo's finish, like it's a DDT that takes him like 3 seconds to set up. I'm like, no, that's too long.
It's a DDT should not. Funny story. Back when I told you about the story about playing WrestleMania 2000 with my fraternity brothers back sophomore year in college, and how we had like the whole league and this whole house had their own character and their own stables and the whole everything. Well, when I made my character, my JJ Brownlee character, it had to be your height, your build, your weight, but you can make it look like you, but then you can modify it with any moveset you want. All the stuff here. I mistakenly clicked on the wrong thing and I chose Sky Too Hottie's worm. Some my brothers say I did it on purpose. That I didn't know what I was doing, but I definitely did. But I chose the worm as my finisher. So I remember like the first match, it was like a fatal 4-way for like the hardcore title or something I was up against a couple of my pledge brothers. And I'm in finisher mode. So I go like, pull the finisher. And like, wait, what the fuck is he doing? Oh shit. I hit it once all the time that we ever played that, me and all my guys. So anyway, side note. Toni Storm. Back to Toni Storm.
Yes, she is officially all elite as well, ladies and gentlemen. Shocker.
So let's end this with just a quick chat about the women's division, though. Definitely she improves the women's division, I would say, of course.
A lot.
She's a recognizable name, which is a big good thing. Her in-ring talent is proven. She has proven herself. She's also a very recognizable person, okay, which is good for getting the casual people over. And I feel like this is not a slight to them at all, but I feel like outside of the internet wrestling community, some of these women, if you're not really in tune with a lot of indie things and going on there, you see the face, you have no idea who they are, right? And do they care, right? They see Riho with a belt and they're like, I've never seen that. I've never seen her before. They see Nyla Rose and they're like, well, she looks big and intimidating, but I don't know who that is, right? At least face recognition value is a good thing, Eventually that'll change. Jade Cargill's already being put on all sorts of branding stuff left and right? As she should, right? So I think it's good for that as a total thing. I think that even though we're still getting one match of Dynamite, which I will forever complain about until we get at least 2, at least we're getting more stuff for the women on each Dynamite.
Yeah. Thunder Rosa had a promo.
Yeah, Jade had a promo. You had a video package for Marina. Nyla had a promo in return to Thunder Rosa. So you're building things. Great. It was very good. And one thing Thunder Rosa said, by the way, I just want to say, to kind of wrap all this up here, because we've talked about for a while, multiple matches, but also multiple storylines are very, very crucial. And that's something that they weren't doing for the first year and a half, for sure, right? Pandemic hit, they started to get their rhythm, started with Britt, to be honest with you. That's where they really started to find their rhythm, okay? And then Thunder Rosa, and then all this other stuff coming in, Ruby Soho, Ruby, moving forward, now Toni Storm, right? So multiple running storylines, I think, is a good thing. I think that you can't totally discredit what's going on in Dark and Dark Elevation. Yeah, they're not getting a million, like TV, numbers, but they're getting more views than an Impact show does, as much as it hates me to say that. A lot more views. So it is still good. And then you've got storylines. You got Chris Statlander doing a thing, right? She's in that whole storyline. There's that feud going on with Layla Hirsch and Red Velvet. That's at least something, right? If you don't like it, that's one thing. But, that's a storyline. You got, Nyla Rose slated for that. You've got kind of Anna Jay ongoing with, the bunny. They've always had this kind of, and Penelope Ford, they've had that feud going on. Ty Conte is going up now with, in like an intergender thing going up against Paige Van Zandt. And then you got Toni. So you've got multiple lines going here. But they don't forget about the payoff. Here is something Thunder Rosa said. Pillars get knocked down, but foundations remain standing. And I will be a foundation of women's wrestling. Her promo was big about how she didn't want to be a pillar of AEW's women's division, but a foundation of women's wrestling. And for those of you that follow AEW at all, you know what the pillar talk means and who she's actually talking about. She's not done with Britt. They're not done with that story. And I love the subtle little hint to it. So that's my spiel about the women's the division. But you go ahead, give me any of your final thoughts on Toni, the women, anything, Dynamite. What you got?
I think the women's division is getting in a better place. I think, William Regal's going to help immensely, and from my understanding, he's already helping. He's helping with their promo work. Like, he's doing a lot of those things. But I really think, they need a shot in the arm with the talent. And I think she gives them that, because we just keep seeing the same faces over and over and over. Mm-hmm. And they keep developing the other girls on Dark, because here's the thing, like, we've talked about this before. They don't have the bench strength to say, okay, this person's next.
Right.
They haven't had time to develop people that way, because they're still working on Dark and Dark Elevation.
Mm-hmm. And they rotate girls down to be part of that development process. Britt did that at one point in time, so it's Thunder Rosa. Ruby's now in that kind of mold there, and take Conte, where you don't see them on Dynamite for weeks at a time, but they're on every Dark for going up against these younger, newer talents, right? These AQAs and things like that, and getting them up to speed. So yeah, I didn't mean to derail you there. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. No, it's just one of those things. Like, they need that shot in the arm. I don't think they're done with the shot in the arm. I mean, there's a couple, solid free agents still out there. Taya Valkyrie, is one that I think would flourish here. I definitely think Athena, Mia Yim, since her husband's here, makes a lot of sense as well. But it's just one of those things. Like, they need to build the bench strength, and sometimes you got to do that through free agency. Just like what they're doing with the men's division as well. Like, they're trimming the fat on some of those people that aren't going to be used. Like, Marco Stunt's already been told he's not coming back,
which sucks for him. But yeah,
Peter Avalon is not officially a part of the roster. He's on a per event pay at this point. And there's a few other ones like that, and it's just one of those things. Like, they're starting to figure it out. Like, first they hired all their friends, and now they're like, okay, if we want to have a good thing, we need to be able to develop this bench strength and do this. And Ring of Honor is also going to help with that as well.
I think that's the key too, because and honestly, that's partially why I'm so excited to see what Tony's shocks ending or but whatever at the end of Supercard of Honor. I'm really excited to see what that is. Is that kind of like him laying out the vision for what Ring of Honor is going to be moving forward? Is it just going to be like a big acquisition person? What is that? Because I think that a lot of that, and it's already been kind of said, not explicitly, but Tony's very strongly insinuated towards it. ROH is definitely going to be a developmental of sorts for AEW. So we shall see. We shall see where it goes. I'm excited to see what happens with it too, because I think they have the bodies. I honestly do. they may need to utilize them a little bit better. Is all that I'm saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they still just need like one more top dog.
I know you want Athena in there for sure.
Yeah, she makes sense.
I think Athena makes more sense. Nothing against Taya Valkyrie. I don't see her. I see her more going for back to Impact. She's been doing stuff with the AAA. I don't know. You know, I think Athena makes more sense than Taya personally. Mia makes a good amount of sense as well. I mean, those are the big four that are really out there. I can't really think of like big splash names that are out there. There's a lot of independent wrestlers that we love that we'd love to see in there, but
Oh yeah,
I think you're right. If they're gonna add more right now, it's gonna be a big name. One more big name, probably. All right, well, that's what we got. That was Week in Wrestling. Yeah. I know we went a little long tonight because we had to preview 8,000 shows. And I'm sorry I didn't mean to dive that long into it. But we'll be back next Thursday, same bat time, same bat channel. More bat goodness. We will talk about what happened this past weekend with all the wrestling going on. We'll talk a little bit about DWF. That is a week from Saturday, as a matter of fact. So we will be going to that. Jamie's youngest daughter's first show.
Yep, her first ever show.
It's going to blow her mind. You know this, right?
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens with that. So we'll talk a little bit about DWF. Coming up in April, got a lot of other stuff happening. I know Pro Wrestling Revolver, we're going to the week after that. Then we got Rebellion with Impact, putting the belt on the line there. Jamie is giving it back to its real owner right here.
I'm the only one who's ever owned it, so it's still mine.
I'm the creator. I used my hands and made that belt from nothing.
And I've turned it into the title.
Okay, all right. And then we got Journey Pro once again. Our good friends at Journey Pro. Tickets still available. 2 nights, Thursday the 28th, Friday, April 29th. Go get yourself some tickets. It's going to be well worth it. Trust us. Mm-hmm. So we'll be back next week. Talk about Dynamite. Talk about what happened this past weekend. Preview some stuff. Chit-chat some more. Do some bullshitting. That's what we do. Jamie, anything else?
Nope.
All right. Take us home then.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not down till Spotfest, I got 0 words for you.
That's a swerve right there, folks. We'll see you next time.
Peace.